lesson, don't worry, we're going to start using for beginner. So you completely use this one. You don't worry about having experience of using Revit or not. I'm going to go through for beginner for today. All right. So for starting, for anyone that want to start with the using Revit for plumbing, is that what we want to do first? We want to go for here at this project environment model here. This is where we can create the new project. So we're going to create new here. So when I click on the new, all right, the template file here, I can choose what kind of the template file I want to use. So for today, we're going to use plumbing template. So I click on the plumbing template and I click on OK. And that will bring me with all the component and visibility and graphic that I can access for plumbing creation. All right. So now if you see on our project browser, okay, to check if we are go to the correct template, you can see this all plumbing on the ceiling, with the ceiling floor plan in elevation. All right. And then that is where we know that we are inside the plumbing template. That's correct. All right, to get started, what I want to do first is that I want to linking to my architecture model. So to do that, we're going to go to insert, and then we're going to link Revit. I go to the link Revit, and then let me just find. All right, welcome to who just joined us. We just get started now. I'm just going to link to architecture model. Let me just find my architecture model here. Yeah, I'm just going to link to architecture model for plumbing modeling. So first thing first, ensure that is internal origin to internal origin, so it is easier for us for coordinate. So just click from here, click on open. So this will take a couple minutes there. Fabrication from 2020 to 2021. All right, now we have our architecture model inside our Revit. Okay, what we want to do now, I am going to model the plumbing for this area. Okay, for this toilet here. So to get started from here, what I want to do is that I'm just going to create the call out. So I go to the view and I go to call out because I want to have the enlarge focusing on that area only. So I use this call out rectangle and I create from here to here. Yeah, that's good. And we have here, you can see plumbing call out. So I can rename this, let me rename to enlarge man, because this is man toilet. So yeah. All right, there we go. And I go to this view by double clicking them on my project browser. That will open the one that we just created for the call out just now. All right, I'm just going to setting up a bit on the view here. To do that, if I go slightly down until I see the view template plumbing plan, I'm just going to click on that because I want to change some of the visibility, and then I'm going to change the visibility for model. So I'm just going to turn off this one so that I can directly change them from here. And also I'm going to turn off for the view range here, scale, display model, right. And then also for model display. That's good for me. Okay, let's now go change them. To change whatever we want, we can just go visibility and graphic first. I want to hide the pattern. You see those all ties. I don't want them when I model the plumbing. So I go to visibility and graphic here, and I go to edit. Let's find floor. All right, I found floor. And that's one I'm going to override the pattern. And then I have to turn off this visible because there's a pattern there. So we have to turn them off. So I click on both of them, click on OK. Let me click on apply. And there you go. Right, that's nice, a clean floor without the ties there. All right, the next thing that I want to do is that I want to set up the view range. Means that when we are modeling all these plumbing, that we will be setting up a different elevation for our piping. So that will be something that might be larger than the level 1, and that might go up until the level 2 or level 0. So to do that, I'm just going to go to view range here. Okay, so I'm going to go to, I'm going to set the top here to unlimited and then the bottom here to unlimited so that I can see everything else, and also the view up here to unlimited. And I click on apply and I click on OK. All right, now we're going to model our plumbing. Okay, we have here the architecture model that has been created here, but you can see that when I click over to this architecture model, I cannot add the piping. All right, so we're going to change this architecture model into MEP model in order for us to model the piping. So to do that, all right, so you go first to the system on the top here, to the system tab on the top here. So I can click on the system, and this will be under the plumbing fixture. So I'm going to go to plumbing fixture here. I'm just going to see if I have my water closet here. This is the water closet that we're going to replace the architecture model. So I'm going to choose the public, let me choose this public 6.1. All right, so this is what I'm going to use. Oh, that's too big, but never mind. And if I just go over here, okay, that's perfectly fine, match with the architecture model. So I'm going to place here first, and another one here, and then we're going to align them. All right, so I'm just going to align them by clicking this architecture model, this MEP model, and I go to the top where I can find the align, and then I go click first line from the architecture model, and then I click on from my MEP plumbing fixture. That's perfect. The same one over here. Okay. Now we have replaced the plumbing fixture of a fixture for the toilet here from the architecture to the MEP. And then when I hover to the one that we created, you can see this icon that where we can create the piping. So that means we are in the correct fixture. We don't want to use it from the architecture model. All right. So what we're going to do now is that to create plumbing fixture here, you just can click on this piping, create a pipe. And that will be two kind of the connector that can we choose. You see here, either we want to create domestic cold water or sanitary. Okay, for this first one here, I'm going to create the cold water. So I click on OK from there. Oh, there's a line there, but we need to specify the piping, how we want to design them. So first thing first, what I want to do, okay, we're going to create a draw here. Oh, let me just, oh, my laptop is, okay. All right, so I'm just going to draw them. If you see, if I draw over here like this, all right, it will show here there is some things about this pipe standard with the pipe machine and everything. So what we want to do is that I'm just going to go first, clicking on this pipe, and I go to edit type here. Okay, it's because our routing preference hasn't been specified. So click on edit that. And then I want to check that everything else has been put in. The elbow there, that's good. The T there, the standard for the cross, that's good for me. The flange here hasn't been looked. If there is something missing there, you have to go to the load family. And then under that, you can find on your US or your, maybe you have the English one, and that will be under the piping pipe. And then you can find them either on the fitting there, and we can find the profile if you want to, or you can also find the steel flange here. I'm going to load one of the flange here, and then just click on open. And after that, you can assign them. Oh, that might be not loading anything. Okay, now I can assign them to what kind of the segment of the pipe that I want to have routing preference for this piping. So I click on one of them, I click on OK. And I click on OK. Okay, so we're going to go again, draw the pipe here. Okay, So I'm going to click again on the pipe here, 25 millimeter here, click on OK. All right, I'm going to change this one, maybe slightly smaller by 22. And then maybe the side elevation here, I'm going to use, but before that, I just want to use the imperial. So I'm just going to change this to units imperial here. Bear with me. Hi, welcome to who just joined us. We just get started from here. We just want to draw the pipe here for the plumbing. Okay, I'm going to continue here. Draw the middle elevation. That's fine for me. So I'm just going to draw from here. Oh, just now I forgot to change the rear diameter again. Let me start again from here. Because that's one, if you see that it only allow up until, because we specify it to be the minimum 25 mm diameter that. So I have to change here to the slightly much more. I hope this will. Okay. All right, and then after you have drawn them, whenever you want to create continue drawing the pipe, you can just right click and then select the draw pipe here. And then you can continue drawing your pipe here. For instance, if I just go draw from here, maybe somewhere around here. And then you can also change the side elevation here for your piping. So let's say that I'm going to change this to 12 feet and go outside to the wall. And then you can see this dropping or dropping that the piping is going to the other elevation. All right, and then after that, for the next one, plumbing feature here, for me to connect to the piping, I can just click on connect into on the top. When I select this and I have connect into on the top here, I'm just going to click on that and I click the types of the connector, the same one, domestic water, and I click on OK, and I select this pipe that I want to connect to. Here, I'm going to specify the same one just now, piping again. Okay, I'm going to change this to something. This step with the dimensions might be. All right, that works. Okay, you can change them according to what you want, the type just now from the properties tab, and then you get your piping. Let's see them inside the 3D. To see them inside the 3D, if I select this type up until this one area, and I click on the selection box on the top here, okay, this will bring us to that only 3D model. Okay, so, yeah. Okay, so you see that they are now in the line. If you want to change how it appears, can just click on the point here. All right, now it seems that's the piping there that we want them to have. All right, can drag this section box to see the extent that I want to see them. We just drag to the hole that we're going to model for this pen. Okay, let me go back to enlargement here, and then we're going to continue draw then for the next one here, the urinary here. Okay, there are three kind of workflow that you want to do if you are dealing with the architecture model here for the plumbing. And the first one just now, we actually replaced them with the plumbing fixture from the MEP. For this one, if let's say we don't want to replace them, for this one urinal, what I want to do is that I just have to add the connector, piping connector. To add the piping connector, we can just go back to the system again. And then if you see on the top, click on the pipe here. And then, oh, not the pipe, let me go back to the system and I have to find them first, the connector. So let's go loading them. I click on insert, load family. Welcome to who just joined us. we just get started from here. We just want to add the pipe connector for now for adding on the urinal. Okay, what I want to do is that I want to go for plumbing, MEP, that will be under fixture. And then this is the connector. Connector is basically just a connection between the plumbing fixture and also the piping. So we click on that connector, and you can see that the type of the connector that we want to have. So I can look these three and click on open. And then after we have done that, we can go back to the system here, and I can go back to plumbing fixture. And then, yep, you see that my plumbing connector has been loaded. So I can select them from there. Then maybe I can select the type that I want to have the cold water here, and I can put them on this urinal. Yep. And then maybe for the next one here also. And when I want to model them, I can just click that, and then you can see that now I can create a pipe. So I can just click on that creating pipe, and then you can see that again, we can draw the pipe again. So for this one, similarly, I'm just going to draw from here, let's say, up until here again, and then that will be go by 12. Oh, maybe 10. So if you have any question, just feel free to let me know, and I can assist you from there. Okay, similarly for this one, connecting to this one. Oh, that's too big. Then I can have to draw them first, and I can just draw connecting to this one. All right. Another one solution for when you are dealing with the architecture model here, this one, we're going to see for the thing here. What we can do is that we can actually edit this family and then add the connector. The very tips of creating the pipe here, it needs to have the connector. As long as it have the connector, you can model those pipes. So for here, they already have their own connector. Okay. So for this architecture model that don't have, we can edit them inside the family. So I can just click on this architecture model again, and I can copy first from this model from this link. So I copy and then paste on the top here to the same place. All right. Yep. And that's fine. Anything that cannot be made will be removed. And then you can see that now if we bring them to our project environment, and then on the top here, we can go to edit family. So I can just click on edit family to add those connectors. All right. So if I change here, if you see that now we are inside the family editor, I'm going to change the view here to wireframe so that it's easier for me to work with this thing. And then if I hover slightly bit, we're going to add the connector to this side, and also this side, and then also this side, and also this one. So this will be for the hot and the cold water. So what I want to do is that I can just first, for the assigning family and category and parameter here, I click on that because you see that now I cannot access the pipe connector here from this connector. So I have to first change this architecture model into plumbing. So I click first family and category. So you see that is currently under the casework. So I'm going to reassign them. If I go slightly down to plumbing fixture, finding the plumbing fixture. Yeah, this one, I click on that, I click on OK. Now you see that we can access the connector on the top here. All right. So to do that, I can go to create connector. And then after that, I can select on the top here, the type of the system type that I want to have. So hot water first, and I select that for, let me zoom in slightly bit. I'm going to paste on that one. And then the second one on this one. And also, and then I'm going to change to cold water here. I'm going to specify them to this area, and another one to this area. Now we have the connector, but I want to change those connector piping so that when my pipe come out, it would come out with those radius and also diameter. So I have to click this, and I click on this, and I click on this one too, and I click on this one too. I'm going to change this diameter to something 3/4 inch. 3/4. Okay, and then you can see that our connector nicely there inside this sink. And I can just load this back into the project, override the existing version and its parameter. And if I click back on my sink here, you can see that now we can create the pipe. This will come up. The system for the piping will come up here. So I can just from here click on this, create the pipe, and then let me specify. I want to specify a different one here for the elevation. Maybe I go by 1, and then I can just draw them again. Oh, I need to change that one. But yeah, we're just going to draw them. And then you can see that this symbol, when I click on that, it will replace with any kind of the routing preference that we match if we don't specify the routing preference that we want, but we can adjust them later, don't worry about that. And then the next one here, we can just go again to connect into hot water here, and then click on this. Okay, I just have that coming up. Maybe it's because sometimes when you are too close, they cannot read that. So we have to change that. And then also, oh, I forgot about another one here. I need to change the elevation just now that I changed. Let me just draw them again by changing the elevation here to 1. Then I click back there. All right, so we have those piping. Let's see them on our 3D, how it looks like here. That's basically the piping that I have modeled. And then you can see that the connector we have added to the urinal is there at the bottom there. So I can just, if I want to adjust them, I can just select again those connector. And then we can change their elevation from here. So let's say this will be around 3, and click on apply. And then all the piping system that attached to those connector will also bring to the height of the connector. You can see that one. All right. So you see also here, there are color. The color for the hot water here are being set up with the blue color. So if I go back to this enlarged one and I click on for the hot water here, and I click the pipe here, you will see that let me just change again this type of pipe here. I have used small. The elevations I need to change here. All right, that's fine. And then you can see that when I model them, it will come up with the color of the red color. So that represents the color of the system. So this is for the hot water, and then this is for the cold water. We can actually change the assignment of the color here for the system. Okay, if you want to change them on my project browser here, if I go to my project browser, and then I go slightly down to family, and then I find them until I find the piping system here, and then click again, expand them until I find the domestic cold and hot water, or anything that you use inside the system that you use inside this Revit. And then when I click, for instance, the hot water here, and then I click type properties here, and then I click the graphic override to change those color. You see that they are being assigned as a red, so I can click that if I want to change the color or how it appears. So let's say that we're going to assign them to the pink. Click on OK, and apply. And that will be the pink color for me. It might not be too obvious here, so because it's the thin color, the thin line, so let's go to the thick. All right, that's the color of our piping system. Okay. Another one here for all this piping system is that if we go back to our system, okay, we can also add all the pressure pumps here from the mechanical equipment. For the pressure pump, for the tank, and then you can just click on the mechanical equipment. Okay, this might not be here, Okay, and then you can see that we can add them from here, the pump, if you want to. So if I click on that pump, right, so that this is not the right room for them, but otherwise I'm just going to place them here. And then you can also see that here we can also create them the pipe also. If I click on that, let me just zoom. All right, another one mechanical here. Let me load another mechanical pump here. If you want to load them, you can just go back to mechanical here, and then that will be under mechanic MEP, and that will be under water side component. And then you can see all the pumps and also tank. So I can just click, for instance, if I want to add the pump, so the pressure pump here, and I click on open that. So you see that that's the mechanical equipment that we can add. And then we can also create them from here, the piping here, the create pipe here. All right, so if I click on these create and then connect, oh, that's too large, but otherwise, let me just change the elevation again, maybe something to 4, and draw them from here to here. All right, that's it. And if I go back to the 3D, we have those piping system pipe and also the mechanical equipment for our plumbing. I think that's pretty much everything for today. Is there any question from the floor? I'm just going to open for the questions here. If there is no, while we're waiting for any question, let me just check. Okay, while waiting for any question, if anyone have any question, just feel free to let me know. But while we're waiting for that, let me just go back to ACAD system here to see what kind of the next free online lesson that you can join. Don't forget to subscribe to our free online lesson. And then the next one that might interest you is that we have the AutoCAD web and mobile apps that you can use them on the iPad. We also have the bridge design for infra work. So let's say that you want to see more on the free online lesson event, you can just go slightly down until you find the calendar of event. And then you can click here, and then you can find the whole topics for the free online lesson that month. For instance, and then if you want to join one of them, you can just click on that, and then you can just again how you have done for today, a similar RSVP, or you can also join from the link. Is there any more questions? I think that's not there is no question here. So if there is no question, I'm just going to let everyone go from here. Thank you everyone for joining us on today's free online lesson. If you have any question, just feel free to reach out to me or my colleague from the email in the ACAD system here. Thank you everyone for joining us on today's free online lesson. Thank you, CCW. Just stop the share. Thank you, Miki. Thank you,